We are following breaking news out of Israel. Well, apparently a ceasefire deal has officially been reached between Israel and Hamas. The plan would call for the release of some of the 100 or so hostages held by Hamas. A coalition of mostly Arab countries would provide security forces until the Palestinian Authority is able to take over. Joining us now to discuss this breaking news is Professor Alex Mintz, founder of Decision Advantage, and he joins us right here on the Live Zone. Professor, good to see you, sir, and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, so obviously this is a fluid situation. This is just happening minutes ago. What are some of the details that you can tell us that surround this ceasefire?
Okay, so basically there are several stages, and the first one is the release of 33 hostages. Some are alive, some are dead. Okay, over 42 days. Hopefully, the first that will be released are the women soldiers that were captured, and it's more of a humanitarian type of a deal. Israel will release many Palestinian terrorists, including Hamas terrorists and others that were even sentenced for life in prison. Israel has made serious and significant, even drastic concessions here. And the idea was that Trump has had considerable leverage over Netanyahu and the far right in Israel, because he, as you know, he moved the embassy, the U.S. embassy to Jerusalem. He recognized the Golan Heights under the sovereignty of Israel, and he brokered the Abraham Accord. So reports in Israel state that he sent his special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, and he told Netanyahu that basically that President-elect Trump wants the deal to be before the inauguration. So this is the key part of the deal. Unfortunately, about 66 or so hostages will still remain in the hands of Hamas. So that's the weakness of the deal. And Israeli forces will have to reposition themselves and even withdraw from some of the areas in the Gaza Strip.
So Professor Mintz, how does one decipher which hostages are released and which ones remain?
That's a great question, because Israel was unable to get an idea or validation and confirmation of who is dead and who is alive. There is a list. Hamas agreed to a list. There is a list of 33 hostages, but no one really knows the state of some of them. So we don't know. The speculation is that the majority are still alive, but not all 33. For sure, not all 33 are alive.
And I'm not sure if you touched on this, but then there happened to be the Palestinian prisoners. They were due to be released. Can you discuss that? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, some of them serve life for life in the prison, life sentences, even 30, 40 life sentences, cumulative ones, and some of the most terrible, notorious terrorists of Hamas and others, for example, those who blew up the Park Hotel in Israel, in Netanya, or others, some cafe in Jerusalem, and many other terrorists who are some of the worst with blood on their hands.
And then there's word that the possible UN handle the day-to-day operations of what's going to be taking place in Gaza. A coalition of mostly Arab countries would actually provide that situation. Is that what's going to occur now? Is that a part of this ceasefire deal?
That's later. First of all, there is the exchange of the prisoners over 42 days. Okay, hopefully it will start on Sunday, but they will not be released at once. They will be released in small groups, 3 or 4 per week. Okay, so it will take time that all of them will be home again. So that's another problem. In terms of the management of the situation in Gaza, the most pressing one is the humanitarian aid. Okay, and right now, it's there is no one that takes over it, and Hamas was able to supply the aid to the people in Gaza, the aid that Israel is transferring to Gaza. Unfortunately, they are brokering it, and that's another weakness. But overall, in Israel, people are very pleased that there is a hostage deal, and many of the hostages will be released and coming back home. Imagine there are women, there are people that are injured, there are old people, very old people, there are children. So that's a great thing. But overall, the price that Israel is paying is drastically and severe.
Yeah, and that's that's what I want to discuss with you. We'll end with this, and that is obviously this is a very fluid situation. Yet again, a ceasefire deal has been reached between Israel and Hamas. A lot of moving parts, and with that being said, sir, obviously you stand with Israel. Are you happy with what's been put forth thus far? Are you satisfied?
Personally, I'm in support of anything that Israel should do in order to release those people. You know, because on October 7th, 23, they were captured, some of them from a music festival, some from different kibbutzim in Israel, and and some soldiers, including Americans, okay, American Israelis. And so I'm very happy that they are coming home. But I think overall, the management of the negotiations could have been better. And I think that Israel is paying a very high price for it. I would have paid this price for the 97 hostages that are still there. But if it's only a partial deal, that's the main weakness of it.
And so just for the record one more time, and I want to make sure I have this clear, 53 hostages will be released over the next... I'm sorry, sir?
33.
33 hostages will be released over the next 42 days. 66 hostages currently remain with the Hamas, if you will, over in the Gaza Strip.
Right.
All right. Well,
from what we know, 64.
All right. Very good, sir. Yet again, we have been speaking with Professor Alex Mintz. He is the founder of Decision Advantage, as we continue to cover all things surrounding the breaking news with regard to a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. We'll continue to follow this developing story throughout the afternoon. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.